Where'd he go? Yeah, hello and welcome everybody to tonight's fantastic dinosaur action. I'm missing a little mister there. He was around when I was making the thumbnail, so I thought I would keep it in. Going with tonight's title, Dinosaurs, they pack a big sweeper. Big sweepers. The sweeper Chandras Ignition is made even bigger based on the most powerful creature I have out at the moment. As it always is with me, usually Magic the Gathering Dinosaurs on Arena in Pioneer. Explorer is becoming Pioneer on Arena in about 4 days. I have the Veteran Explorer title, whatever, below your name. If you play 450 games or something, you get it. I had that a long time ago, but not really a tickle in my throat, just we're good. Got my coffee, everything. The list, as always, in the description, the link tree to the Discord, all that good stuff. A lot of people are loving, not necessarily this style of dinosaurs, the more traditional, aggressive, faster, cheaper sort of one, but I'll just resize myself and we'll get absolutely right into the, well, it's going to be a lot, it's not really ruthless aggression. Everything just gets decimated by this. Lots of lovely sweepers, but especially Chandras Ignition there, getting me out of basically every single sticky situation you could possibly imagine. My goodness. Hopefully everybody's had a good week so far. A couple days off there for me. I guess I just needed more sleep. Passing out and, waking up at 1 or 2 in the morning. That's a little bit late to start a stream, unfortunately. But if you're new, there is a primer, and there's like 700 streams, pretty much all dinosaurs so far. But right to it, Chandras Ignition, boom. Starting off with this in the main. Oh my goodness.
You have no power here.
Yeah, absolutely no power, because I have only one creature left, possibly more, but we'll get into that in a second. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent, not each player, so it doesn't hurt me. Let's picture this for a second. I got 2 Vaultborn Tyrants. That's pretty good. So I go Chandras Ignition on 1 Vaultborn, boom. It deals 6 to the other Vaultborn, getting a copy of it, and then it re-enters and I gain life and I draw a card twice. Triggers, which is quite fantastic with the token plus the original. But then it's 6 damage to every other creature. I have to imagine that's probably taken out mostly everything all the time. So the opponent has nothing and I still have something. And they were also dealt 6 damage, or possibly they were dealt 8. Oh, they have, let's say, 2 4/4s. I don't want to attack into that with Tyrranax Rex. I would lose it, and I would not even deal 1 damage to the opponent. However, look at this. Boom. 8 damage to everything. T-Rex flies on through, and we're absolutely laughing. And I just realized I got to read something. Target creature you control deals damage to each opponent. Okay, hold on. A player, okay. I got a little bit excited there. Toxic. A player dealt combat damage. I thought it was just damage. That would have been a little bit overpowered. But I thought Chandras Ignition, meaning the creature is dealing the damage so that it would get toxic counters on the opponent. But we'll do away with that. Simple though. Chandras Ignition, I got a lot of big powerful creatures. I have 1, boom, the opponent has absolutely nothing. Although if my opponent had Death Touch, well, that would take everybody out. If they had Lifelink, I would gain a ton of life. The creature itself is dealing damage. I'm almost certain. I'm 99% sure that's how it reads. So it's going to be quite exciting. But again, starting out with that Carnage Tyrant in the sideboard to make space for Chandras Ignition. Still a ton of dinos. There's 20 dinosaur creatures. Technically 32. Palani's Hatcher is 3-in-1 with the tokens. Regisaur Alpha with the dinosaur token as well. But still, tons of dinos. Overlord of the Hauntwoods, that's going to help get to that second source of red. Needed for Chandras Ignition. Hopefully playing Overlord of the Hauntwoods on turn 4 with the accelerated Castle Garenbrig. Then turn 5, boom, we have Overlord out as a creature. 6 power, 6 damage to every other creature and opponent. What's not to love about that? That's going to save me. Kind of like Ghalta. Lands, puts tons of creatures out, boom. That does the trick. Now with this, also doing the trick. Question is, should I always start out with it? I haven't cast it as often as I would have liked, but just being able to get me out of a bad spot, pretty much every conceivable bad spot, is pretty enticing. So Chandra, why is that a tongue twister? Chandras Ignition is going to light my fire, light me up. I only have the boom one as the flames, but yeah, you get the idea. We'll jump right into it. Absolutely. Anzrag's Rampage. It's for artifacts. I'm pretty heavily into red, so I thought I would, try this out if we face off against an artifact heavy deck. Boom. Destroy all artifacts we don't control, then exile the top X cards, where X is the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. I can put a creature card exiled this way onto the battlefield. Oh, that's pretty good. If I take out, 4 things, 5 things, chances are there should be something pretty good in that top 4 or 5. I mean, every creature in here is pretty darn fantastic. So hurt artifacts, good. Back to nature, hurt enchantments, good. Chandras Ignition, hurt all creatures, good. Coverage, versatile. I love it. And then Brotherhood's End, if we want more sweepers, we'll still probably use Chandras Ignition, trimming Commune with dinosaurs to make space for Brotherhood's End. 8 sweepers, smoke those aggressive opponents, and hopefully we get the win. But if we face off against, some sort of control variation, some sort of deck like that, this goes out because a control type deck does not have a whole lot of creatures. So boom, Carnage Tyrant comes in, Chandras Ignition out, and I say we fire it up, hopefully facing off against Azorius control. But we'll go to the achievements there. I've heard tell of people spamming Explorer quite a bit just to get the Veteran Explorer achievement. Explorer Mage, or this one? Yeah, Veteran Explorer. You have to play 450 games of Explorer, but that is going away in in 4 days. Crazy. So people want this before they can ever get it again. Of course, I have it already. Will people be doing that in best of 3 ranked? Probably not too much. It's mostly in the play queue. I've been hearing you have to cast 2 spells, so they have to cast, usually they're playing things that have a mana value of 0, so they can cast both spells on the first turn for nothing. It's pretty darn fantastic. The entire deck might mostly be spells that cost 0. And then they don't have to do anything, they just cast those 2 spells and concede. But I think we could face some sort of shenanigans that are because of that. That hand is not good. Nothing that searches for a land, or that's worse. We got to try one more mulligan. Quite a bit better. Do I like a Vaultborn or a T-Rex? I don't want to put both of them to the bottom. Well, I'll put a Forest for sure. Yeah, you know what? We'll keep the Vaultborn. Oh, okay, so it does not matter. This is Gruul Aggro, so that means we lose game 1. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Most decks have a painful types of matchups. This one in particular is aggro. It's rough. Not much you can do. Fortunately, we will get the Vaultborn Tyrant. We could potentially surprise the opponent. We've got our third land for Archdruids and the Stomping Grounds. There's no reason I have to put Regisaur Alpha onto the bottom. It could be nice having two bodies in one. Buy me a little bit of time, but we are basically dead. Of course, it's not like there's nothing to do against this type of deck. The traditional, faster variation of dinos has a much stronger matchup, and that's life. I'm still having a good time. Fantastic being able to do this. Of course, not as much as I would like. Maybe if I was able to have some naps after work, that might be good. Yeah, no, you just lose. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We were about to be dealt exactly lethal. I had played 3 lands. Yep. There's not a single thing you could do. It's not like I'm going to start out with a fog or something that prevents combat damage. You just don't do that. Of course, things could be tweaked a little bit. Chandras Ignition. Is it necessary to help me win in matchups that were, borderline 50-50, maybe 40% I win, 60% they win? I don't know about that. I don't think so. Is there a good reason to start out with it? Maybe not. Again, like I said, I haven't casted a whole lot, which it doesn't always sit well with me. Things like that. And I've tried a whole lot of different stuff, not just sweepers. Having Chandras Ignition be Carnage Tyrant, which is in the sideboard, that could more often, mostly, almost strictly be better. Hopefully we can get T-Rex down soon enough. We might be able to surprise him with that Chandras Ignition. We'll go with Castle Garenbrig. We're going to search for another Sunken Citadel, but that forest is definitely going to make things a little bit smoother. Of course, we do need a source of red. The first source of red is going to be the second Sunken when we search for it, and I'm definitely going to have to get more used to that. Oftentimes, almost always, I choose green for Sunken and green for the second one, but definitely with something like that, or we're mostly dead. They could be sacrificing the Heartfire hero. Oh no, they don't. Yeah, just the good old reckless bushwhacker. Yeah, you know what I'm not doing next turn. I'm not winning. Tyrranax Rex would block the Heartfire hero. We'd be dealt a bunch of. We weren't going to win. Pretty simple and straightforward. And hopefully it's not all aggro tonight. We'll see. Might actually start playing a little bit more of League of Legends. For those of you who know that game, you might have seen me play it. I've done it a handful of times over the years here, and I dusted it off and played one game, and I won, which was quite nice, but it was quite a bit different. You have to really focus. This, you don't really have to focus too much, especially when you've done it so much. It's not like there's timings and everything to... I'm playing a forest the first turn. I'm playing, a Sunken Citadel the next turn. Something like that. But Kenneth, is this Azorius Control? Nope, it's just aggro again. Yeah, I lose again. Of course, aggro going first, that's usually... basically guaranteed. Nice to see that Castle Garenbrig. At least I can use the Sylvan Scrying to search for Sunken Citadel, but it's aggro. You lose. Good luck. Even if you're spec'd against it and you have a ton of hate, there's still a good chance you just lose. That's just how strong it is at the moment. Of course, it would be nice to see something get hit from it. Yeah. Oh boy. Of course, some new people might be thinking, why are you quitting now? You weren't dead yet. Yeah. If you play one matchup enough, you know. But of course, it doesn't. I have nothing to lose. I can't go lower than Platinum 4. course, I would have wished I was in Diamond at this moment, but yeah, that's not the case. Get Brotherhood's End. Pretty much rely on that. Chandras Ignition is just going to be probably too slow. The black base sweepers I do like. Path of Peril is probably one of my favorites there. 1 and 2 black, destroy all creatures with a mana value 2 or less. It really does the trick. That hand's definitely going to, especially with lands, because we didn't have lands for a little bit there. Do I like Sylvan Scrying? Yeah, we'll send Overlord to the bottom. I was thinking of keeping Overlord instead of Archdruid's Charm, but Archdruid's is going to be a little bit better. That's going to get the Castle Garenbrig eventually, which is going to be quite a bit more beneficial. Now, will I want to use Brotherhood's End coming up here? I think I might. Nah. It's not enough value. Of course, we could be absolutely decimated next turn. We're about to find out. Yeah, let's do it. Just do it. Boom. Before that thing gets too big. Oh boy. Hopefully we get another sweeper. Oh, Screaming Nemesis. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's not helping. Definitely not helping. I mean, Sylvan Scrying, I'll search for a Castle Garenbrig and I'll die next turn. It doesn't matter. I'm not playing a creature this turn, so. Waited for the sweeper. Would have taken a ton of damage. Didn't wait. Take a ton of damage. You need multiple sweepers back to back to back, but to have multiple sweepers back to back, that's no. You would need probably in the range of 12 to start to see a change. 8 sweepers. There's a good chance you might not see one of the 8 sweepers that you've brought in against, say, aggro. And you need at least 2 or 3. You need to sweep, and Radiant Sweeper. Yes. More sweepers. Maybe. I love the sweeper thing. It helps against a lot of stuff, not just necessarily Radiant Fountain. I'm going to have to think about this. I'm just so focused on Chandras Ignition there, Commander Crane, that I haven't really been thinking about much else, especially because I've been sleeping. You can't type, I can't win. So maybe we're kind of in the same boat here. That hand could be a little bit better. I would like, well, certainly one of these Ghaltas to be a castle or a sunken. Ooh, I think that's better. We get one more land. We got 3 things for 3. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, Commander Crane, you continue to devastate opponents. Well, with the more traditional list. Devastate aggro opponents with that list. But what do we got here? Boros tokens. Oh, we got funny business. We got shenanigans. Has to be Sylvan Scrying at the very least, but this opponent has got something up their sleeve. It's Transmogrify, creativity. It's creativity. It's got to be creativity, right? Yeah. It's creativity. This is not good. Cheating out creatures, big creatures, because the only things that they can hit are big stuff. Nope, strap yourself in, folks. This is going to be fun. Oh boy. As long as we can survive until they don't cast creativity, which they're about to do for 2. X equals 2. Probably targeting both those elementals after they deal damage with everybody, I have to assume. Now, what big thing have they sprinkled in? It could be Atraxa plus Valgavoth. Any combination of stuff that they get is going to be scary. But maybe it is just token aggro. maybe it is not what I think. Huh. Brotherhood's End could be certainly quite fantastic. Now, is Overlord of the Hauntwoods going to be enough? Will they be able to kill me next turn? Oh, you know what? Maybe they won't. I'm going to take the risk, because if they can't kill me, I search for another Sunken and kill them. I think it's worth a risk. Maybe. Don't have creativity. Just be. That's not too bad. Oh, I'm down to 2. I'm down to 2. I like being down to 2. Don't burn me for play with fire. Something. Good. We like this. Yeah. Cross your fingers. Cross your claws. Take a big bite out of that like button. Okay.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me.
Okay. Just hope they can't do 2 at instant speed. As long as they can't do 2 at instant speed, oh boy. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Hopefully they can't kill Ghalta for 2 or something. Raise the alarm. Okay. Fun. That's good. Should have expected funny business like that, but we're bringing in Brotherhood's End. We certainly don't need Chandras Ignition. Brotherhood's End is definitely going to get those tokens gone. Absolutely. Close-ish. It's just too bad that Palani's Hatcher and Regisaur Alpha did not have trample. It was pretty silly. Huh? Yes. What can you do? Sometimes you can do nothing. Raise the alarm. Raise the alarm by calling the cops. This person is, committing a crime of old cards. Sound the alarm. To cast raise the alarm. Not good. I mean, I feel okay with what this opponent is doing. We have a turn 2 play, so we'll search for something. I like Regisaur Alpha. We should be getting all the lands we need, even without grabbing the commercial district and whatnot off the bottom there, but definitely pay that too. Get Castle. Next turn we're playing Overlord of the Hauntwoods, unless we draw a Sunken. But Overlord next turn, continue to ramp. I don't think they're going to be fast enough. I mean, we got Brotherhood's End, so we're set. We can smoke them, blow them out of the water if they cast too much next turn. We're able to make 6. I mean, we should be getting to 8 pretty easily. The question becomes, how much value now? Let's do it now. Yeah, let's do it now. I think that's enough. Take the ping with Stomping Ground. We'll search for Sunken, playing it next turn quite nicely, and then we'll be laughing after that. The turn after next turn, we'll be able to make 8. Next turn we'll just play Sunken, plus use Commune to dig for something good, and we also might draw something good as well. But I think we bought ourselves a decent chunk of time there. I like a good Vaultborn Tyrant. What's better? Maybe it was another Regisaur Alpha. I don't know. But fortunately, the call... Oh, raise the alarm. Well, they're raising the alarm because I might be about to bash them in. I don't think they're able to deal 13 this turn, but... Oh, it's the... Oh, yeah, okay, so this is up. I should have known. I knew something was up. Yeah. Yeah. Boros Transmogrify token hoof. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. At least I killed him. You know, there's when somebody uses raise the alarm. Craterhoof Behemoth. They had us in the first half. Absolutely, Commander Crane. I could have sworn it was going to be Indomitable Creativity, but Transmogrify, the only hit being Craterhoof. I mean, that's their only identity. Huh. We just have to hope they don't do anything too crazy. Of course, if this deck was any bit popular, you would absolutely hose it. You would just have instant speed interaction, destroy target creature with mana value, I don't know, 3 or less, and the deck's plan completely crumbles. I know it was a little bit interesting seeing Kahira as the companion. It threw me off. But then seeing, yeah, the Transmogrify as the Craterhoof makes perfect, unfortunate sense. Kind of cool to see, but I've never had Craterhoof used against me yet since it's been released, which is, you know, pretty surprising, but guess I'll keep it as is and hope they don't get one of the 4 Transmogrifies. However, if they have any bit of tokens, and they might play Transmogrify on the following turn, I have to imagine that Brotherhood's End is probably going to be the good bet. Do I like this, though? 2 chances to get the second land. Sylvan gets the third with the... Okay. Should be a little bit better, hopefully. Of course, we have to send something to the bottom. Regisaur Alpha, we have to send a couple things to the bottom. Both of those. I like Vaultborn just because it draws, gains a bit of life, gets into something. But we'll see. Palani's Hatcher, of course, if I knew I was going to be getting Palani's Hatcher, I would have, sent... maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. I just hope I get one of the 4 Brotherhood's Ends before they get their Transmogrify. Oh, we don't exactly need another Castle Garenbrig. We have one already, plus the Stomping Ground will be hitting the land drops for the next 2 turns. Good. They're at 3. I like this. Oh no, now they will Transmogrify. They flipped to Danto. Not great. Not great. Oh, Castle, back to back Castle Garenbrigs. Well, maybe they don't have it next turn, but I have a sneaky suspicion that's going to be the case. Yeah, make the van. Yep. Play your Craterhoof and you win. Oh boy. Huh? Pretty simple. Do they want to risk it? Maybe not. Huh. Of course, they can just continue to beat me down with all the stuff they have, which is a pretty decent plan B. We do need a sweeper next turn to have any sort of hope at salvaging this. Vaultborn Tyrant, is kind of nice, I guess. But if I get Brotherhood's End, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using that instead. Ooh, that's not Brotherhood's End. All right, well, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Think we go down to 1, unless they Transmogrify, of course. They can feel safe doing so because I am tapped out. Yeah, simple. Losing to some good old Transmogrify cheese. Aggro, and that. Where's Rakdos Demons and where's Azorius Control? Where's all the classic stuff I know and love? We'll get there eventually. Of course, it's a very, very small sample size, and I am still very low in the ranking because I haven't been able to play much. It is really hard to play when you're sleeping, but definitely there's a lot of wacky stuff, perhaps, that we could be facing tonight. That hand, instant keep, 100%, absolutely. Of course, if they have hand hate, which they might Yorion. Interesting. It's not going to be good. But if we go off with that Sylvan Scrying, grabbing and putting the second Sunken out, we're laughing. Up the beanstalk. Yeah, I don't know. A little bit strange. Commune with Dinosaurs, see if we get a Sunken, which would be pretty good. But Ghalta, I think that's a little bit better. I don't have a Ghalta yet, so I might as well. Playing it a little bit risky and hoping they don't hand hate away that Sylvan. Oh, they don't hand hate away the Sylvan Scrying. All right. Maybe it's 5-color Overlord enchantment, something like it, but we do need to maintain the 3 sources of green. We can't start to choose red because we need the 3 green for the Archdruids to get the other land. No, Archdruids would be another land. Overlord of the Hauntwoods would be another land. Now we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit too late for that dress. I guess it's Overlord of the Hauntwoods as a creature, which is quite a bit better, I think. We get a land next turn. The opponent is dead, which is a very good place to be in. They're just dead. Just boom. Dude would probably be dead even if I didn't have Ghalta. I don't have to rely on seeing 1 of 4 sorceries that cheats out cheats out a Craterhoof Behemoth. Oh boy. You know what? Sylvan Scrying for the Castle Garenbrig, another one. We play it. And we still make 6 for the Overlord. Lovely, lovely stuff. Maybe they have another Leyline Binding. Hopefully not. Oh, they do. Don't they? They see everything in my hand, so they may be wanting to save that Leyline Binding. Or they might have something wacky up their sleeve. Sylvan Caryatid is not going to save you. Appears to be 5-color Bring to Light. Will they have a counter spell? Well, we're about to find out. Hopefully not. They're going to do something to Regisaur Alpha, I'm pretty sure of, but we'll just play all this stuff, refill the hand. We're going to kill him next turn, probably. We're going to get another Ghalta with, what? Yeah, there you go.
I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice.
Even Wolverine has gotten beaten up a lot. Kind of like I got beat up in the first 3 matches tonight so far. But Wolverine perseveres and has fantastic sideburns. Facial hair, man, pretty cool stuff. Hardcore. Kind of like that amount of damage, all the triggers, all the cards I was about to draw, but we don't really need Chandras Ignition against what I believe is 5-color Bring to Light. Just 5-color soup, playing a lot of interesting spells. Yeah. I like Carnage Tyrant. Mostly because Carnage Tyrant has hexproof. And that Leyline Binding, it can't target it whatsoever. Doesn't matter how much extra mana they have. Not happening. It might not be happening for the opponent. A win might not be happening with a hand like that. Beautiful, beautiful stuff right there. Certainly starting off with a Sunken, the best possible feeling. We'll dig with Commune on turn 2 to see if we get the castle, and that's going to determine what Archdruid's Charm grabs for sure. But we could get another Sunken. Well, we didn't get another one, but do want a Vaultborn, a Carnage Tyrant, a T-Rex. Chances are they will be able to pay the extra for. You know what? We're going to grab a T-Rex. We're grabbing that. They don't have too many, a crazy amount of lands. I think it could be pretty hard for them to pay the cost of Leyline Binding plus the Ward 4 for T-Rex there. But it does appear like it might just be Overlord enchantment, so Perhaps I should have brought in Back to Nature. Well, at least I'm making 7 with that Stomping Ground. Okay. So they don't have... mostly tapped out. We will be able to connect once with T-Rex. Hopefully drawing another one. But I think we're mostly set. They'll have to do a whole lot to stop that guy. And again, oftentimes, T-Rex is actually the thing that wins. Time and time again. Of course, Ghalta Stampede Tyrant just absolutely finishes it right then and there. But you just play T-Rex and the opponent is playing catch-up for sometimes the rest of the game. Because you follow up with a second or maybe a third. And they rage. I'm not too worried about this. Bouncing Overlord, when it's not a creature, it returns or re-enters as a creature, but it's also an enchantment. Archdruid's Charm could take that out. Never mind. I'm going to take them out, hopefully with this. Boom. Oh. Well. Huh. Hey, it's been an interesting start to the night at the very least. 10:51. We'll go for at least an hour. Maybe a little over an hour. There's always something to do though. I'm just happy to be back again. Don't I'm not quitting or nothing like that. Don't worry about it. We're going to keep having a good time. All the time. Even if we lose. Okay. Chandras Ignition. Will I finally use it one of these times? I mean, a couple times. The matches have flown by, so it kind of all blends together, but I'm certain a couple times tonight, Chandras Ignition has just sat there where it would have been that Carnage Tyrant that's in my sideboard at the moment. So I have to imagine Carnage Tyrant instead might have been just simply better. That hand simply can't get much better. Turn 4, we make 7 for one of the 2 T-Rexes. Yeah, there you go. I'm making 7. They can't stop me from making 7. It doesn't matter what hand hate they have. It's all lands. That makes me 7. I'm in heaven. Oh, plus the Vaultborn Tyrant. Hopefully they don't have too much land. Well, what do we got? Phoenix. Classic Phoenix with the Ledger Shredder. You don't see that too often. Definitely not. It's usually Corey, Steel Cutter, Artist Talent, something like that. Double Ledger Shredder to start, though, is certainly pretty interesting. But it's going to be pretty interesting because they have to potentially beat me next turn. They can't counter that. They can't target it. They can't do a whole lot of anything. I guess the question becomes, will they want to attack next turn? They will have a total of at least 8 toughness. But both Ledger Shredders would go down and they wouldn't be able to take out Tyrranax Rex. The Ledger Shredders could be 2 4s. Oh, getting 2 Arclight Phoenixes in there. But they also could see red. Attack me with everything. Scary. Will they attack me with everything? That would be interesting. They think I only have 1 T-Rex. Oh.
Ruthless aggression.
Okay. But you can see how Chandras Ignition or Carnage Tyrant, it wouldn't really have changed anything. If I continue to often make 7 mana on turn 4, I continue to skip over the 6 mana of Carnage Tyrant. Well, no. Maybe Chandras Ignition could be some creature that costs 7, which is pretty darn crazy, but I definitely reached 7 quite a bit more with Overlord of the Hauntwoods. 7 on turn 4, so it's a point to keep in mind as I continue to evaluate things. This hand, I evaluate as not so great. There's no Castle Garenbrig, there's no Sunken Citadel. Commune with Dinosaurs would dig for it, but no. I mean, it's slightly better. We got Castle, but we lost both communes. One more. Oh, well, that's worse. Should have kept the first one. Yeah. Perhaps a little bit too greedy, but we'll mulligan one more time, and I've come back from more painful scenarios, that's for sure. Yeah. Eventually. Maybe they're just super, they must be super scared and shook after that first game. They know there could be absolutely nothing they could possibly hope to do. They might not have Ether Gust, which can return a red or a green spell to the top or the bottom of its controller's library. It's a way to, in a sense, counter Tyrranax Rex, which can't be countered. But there could be a reasonable possibility they just don't have any of that, even in the sideboard. However, they are waiting quite a while. Maybe they're cursing their luck, having faced off against the super cheaty Tyrranax Rex menace. Oh, no. Okay. No. That's what we're doing. Oh boy. Hope we get a Castle Garenbrig or a Sunken Citadel by turn 2. Or a Sylvan Scrying by turn 2. There are a lot of things that could turn it around, but the 2 sources of green, we're going to get a third for Archdruids. If that third source is a Sunken or a Castle, we're laughing. Commune could dig for either of those quite nicely. And we still could get that T-Rex on turn 4. It would not be out of the question. However, did the opponent's clock just run down because they've gone AFK? Because they... maybe. Interesting. I mean, I don't think it's cheating to get Tyrranax Rex out with 4 lands, 2 Sunkens, a Castle Garenbrig, and let's say a forest. It's the least cheating. Something like that. I don't think they're home. Maybe they've gone to bed. I mean, they could be in the same time zone. It could be 11 p.m. just like it is for me. And they're like, I don't want to face that again. That nonsense. Maybe they think I get 7 mana on turn 4 and I play T-Rex quite often. Of course, I wish it was far more often than it is, but if that's the first impression, I would not feel too good. I mean, I'm certainly not surprised that the Transmogrify smells something funny a mile away. Especially that raised the alarm. That raised the hairs on the back of my neck, because I knew I was probably going to see something. Oh. Huh. I honestly might just tweak things tonight a bit. If Tyrranax Rex is basically the only thing you have to do because it is so nasty. I think I've been saying it for about a year now. You just play Tyrranax Rex and you win. Because it's so good. And big and deadly. Maybe that could be the right-ish angle. Maybe sadly I have to admit to myself, I don't really Don't really need Ghalta Stampede Tyrant as much as I thought. Hard pill to swallow, potentially. Oh, hard to say. But it is nice though. Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. Boom, you just kill them. You draw her, boom, they're dead. They're dead. Finished. Now what's this opponent on? Yorion Sky Nomad. Lots of permanents. Bouncing. Could it be Dimir? This town ain't big enough. Discarding a lot of things. Okay, I think we got funny business. Could be Azorius Control. With your mono white something. Well, you know what they can't. We'll wait and see if they have Field of Ruin, which they could. Okay, they don't. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We're playing T-Rex next turn, which is good. We have our 2 sources of green. Keep in mind, 2 sources of green, the Forest and the Stomping Ground. It means that we can choose red for the Sunken to get the second source of red for Chandras Ignition. Very, very important right there. Then we just do this, choose Dino, play T-Rex, boom. Next turn, if they play a bunch of stuff, Chandras Ignition, and they die. It's as if T-Rex hits twice. T-Rex is dealing 8 damage to the opponent with Ignition plus itself. Ignition could just be a finisher, and hopefully this is finally the moment that I get to use it. United Battlefront, I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, I could get a bunch of tokens. Doesn't matter. Watch out. Boom. Smoked. Chandras Ignition as the finisher. That is where it's at. I wasn't going to beat him this turn if I didn't have this, but now I do. Love it. Absolutely. Huh. Would I have gotten the job done eventually without doing that? Probably, but it's not bad. Picture that. Any creature, any combination of creatures, any opponent would have been smoked. How many creatures do you see that are above 8 toughness? Not that many. Poof. Chandras Ignition. They disappear. It's as if T-Rex hit twice because 8 times 2, 16. Love it. Do I like Brotherhood's End? Take out a lot of tokens. Oh my goodness. We have a back-to-back matches where it's a game 1 scoop AFK. Absolute.
Ruthless aggression.
Well, I'm just glad I'm getting a little bit of revenge after that painful start, but that is definitely what it's all about. I could have Chandras Ignition plus Tyrranax Rex plus Vaultborn and whatever else supports getting T-Rex and Vaultborn out. But then I get Chandras Ignition and I smoke them quite nicely. Not so much with that hand. If one of these was an Archdruid's Charm, instant keep. Sylvan Scrying would grab the Castle Garenbrig for turn 3. Archdruids for the Sunken. You know what? That's better. 2 commercial districts. We get the... You know what? I'll play it safe with Ignition to the bottom. Just because I don't know what this opponent is on. But commercial district with this... well... We had to face a deck that started off with turn 1 Thoughtseize probably once tonight. Hopefully that Sylvan Scrying sticks around. Hey, Sunken, like it. I don't have 2 for turn 2, so hopefully they don't have more hand hate. Good. Positive. Always got to be that Sunken though. Sylvan, next turn we search for Castle, but we play commercial district. Hopefully. They haven't been super aggressive and... continuing to not use that source of... Oh, well, Now this is interesting. But of course it does have to be that castle. And now next turn with the second Sylvan, we search for the second Sunken. Well, we don't need that forest. There's a good chance we don't need that forest. So I'll hope to draw something good next turn instead of that. Or we could just be dead from the opponent's aggression. You know, the Gifted Aetherborn, Blade of the Oni, mostly dead next turn. Although if we can somehow survive... no, we can't. No, we can't survive. Unfortunate. Sadly. Close-ish. 7, 9. Tends to do the trick. Yeah, ooh, nuts. Darn. Yeah, go a little bit faster. Don't need... Well, Chandras Ignition could be very, very nice. There's a bunch of stuff with Death Touch. Sheoldred would be great to take out. We would have taken out Sheoldred, Blade of the Oni, and Gifted Aetherborn. So that Chandras Ignition could definitely be very clutch. Throw in an Archdruid's Charm there, and potentially we would have been laughing. Just one turn sooner, reach that critical mass, and boom, Ghalta drops. Ooh, that's not going to cut it. Ooh, that's going to cut it. Pretty good. I mean, we're guaranteed to go off with a Sylvan Scrying. Probably. Cavern of Souls, 100% send that to the bottom. I'm not sending one of the Sylvans to the bottom because if I only kept one, that would be gone. And I definitely want to keep Vaultborn Tyrant. Oh, shoot. What are they going to get rid of? Oh no. Oh, nuts. Maybe they would get rid of Vault. No, they wouldn't get rid of Vaultborn. It's got to be the Sylvans. Oh my God, that is interesting. But certainly, I mean, it's very, very nice. Drawing Castle Garenbrig at the absolute perfect moment. It meant that I could grab the second Sunken. If I didn't have the castle, that's what I would have grabbed, but now completely changed everything. Hopefully, getting down that Vaultborn Tyrant, that would change our fate. Hopefully they have another duress. Cast a duress. Graveyard Trespasser, not quite going to cut it. I'm just happy to get Vaultborn Tyrant down and gain a bunch of life. Gain actual 3 life without Sheoldred draining us. Another Vaultborn next turn. Ooh, that is going to be pretty painful for them. It's always Sheoldred. Turn 4 all the time, it seems. Now, do I like another Vaultborn before Archdruids? You know what? I like that. I like that. We'll go with Commercial District, land for the turn, see what's on top. Do I like Palani's? I think I do. I mean, we'll get Palani's plus whatever is underneath, but we gain 2 life. We would have gained 6, but Sheoldred is, of course, making us go -4. Might as well send it in and... Okay. Keep them down a little bit. They have to have exile-based removal. If they don't, I don't know that they're going to be targeting... Fine by me to get rid of the Archdruids. I mean, I do care a little bit. I was hoping to get rid of Sheoldred, of course, but they cannot attack into what I have. They can't. They simply can't, which is definitely a good position to be in. I think they're going to quit pretty much right here. We'll send both Vaultborn Tyrants in again. They can't continue to take 6 from each. They got to block at some point. Sheoldred can never block, because that just would make 0 sense. They're going to be conceding at some point here. I'm pretty sure. Might as well grab a 3rd Castle Garenbrig. We saw Field of Ruin in the first game, so we'll pad things a little bit. I mean, it might not be a good game, but I don't see too many scenarios where they can get out of this one. If they destroy all creatures, I would get both Vaultborns back. Sheoldred would be gone. No, that tends to do the trick. Just a bit. Hopefully we get Ghalta. Oh, we don't get Ghalta. I would like a... Let's do the nail in the coffin. A third Vaultborn. It's not often I get to play a third Vaultborn. Just tons of life. Well, not so much with Sheoldred. But drawing a ton of cards, good stuff. It's good stuff. Send them all in. Let's go. Oh my goodness. All right. Definitely going to keep Chandras Ignition. Keep in mind, I could have been completely mana screwed. I top deck this. Boom. All of their stuff gone. And that also would have been a very fantastic thing. Continued to buy us, well, enough time to win the game, I have to imagine. And they were getting flooded pretty badly, and if the only creature they had was the Mutavault, that's not very scary. Not at all. All right. Let's do it. They have to be at least a little bit worried here. Perfection. I would say perfection. We're making 6 with the 3 lands. You can't... I would keep that against anybody. Oh, with the Commune. Now, if we get an Archdruid's Charm next turn... Oh, no, that's... I'm going to use it here, just to use it. Do I like a forest? I kind of like a forest. Forest could be very, very nice indeed. Forest is going to help the Castle Garenbrig enter untapped, and it's just going to make sure we eventually get to 8. Liliana of the Veil, Liliana of the Fail. Do I need Sylvan Scrying? Technically, I don't. Yeah. Chandras Ignition could get us out of many bad scenarios, but now with the Overlord, boom, I'm making 8 next turn as long as they don't have Field of Ruin. Well, I'm getting rid of Chandras Ignition, I can tell you that much. Oh boy. Oh, just play. Oh, Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Nah. Ooh, double Ghalta. This is it. This is it, folks.
But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Do you know how many wild... Well, this opponent hasn't sacrificed many wild... But this is the nightcap. This is what it's all about. This is absolute redemption. 3 triggers from the Vaultborn Tyrant. So get some good. Any creature. I'll take any creature. Regisaur, Palani's. Not Lance. Oh, that's not great. Well, I'm going to be hitting Liliana of the Veil. Sheoldred has to block to save, but good that Sheoldred's gone. Very good. Liliana of the Veil, if they go -2, boom, Vaultborn Tyrant, sacrifice, get the token, instead of Ghalta being sacrificed. But I think they just might quit here. That was where we want to be. Calatus, yes. Gonatus. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, exile. No, that makes sense. Okay. Get rid of this guy. Just go away. Yeah. None of your funny business. I guess I could have searched for... No, I was thinking I could have searched for a Tyrranax Rex and played it, but I wouldn't have had quite enough. Close-ish. The Extinction event is a little bit rough. But we got Palani's Hatcher next turn. Could be a T-Rex. Speaking of, boom. I was just talking about how this is the finisher, the ender of enders, the perfect nightcap. It's all, boom, exactly one. It's exactly 1 hour. 1 hour and 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Man, what an exciting night. You never know what you're going to get, but you always know you're going to get a good time, nice, positive. Yeah. Even if you had a bad time, you know, work, starting off the week, not so great, or whatever it is, whatever you're making, packing, shipping, you can chill right here. Happy to have you watching right now, later on, whenever it is. So get some good rest. I mean, hopefully you're resting already. Maybe I put you to sleep, but hopefully the traffic is good. If you're listening on your drive to work, it is, again, 11:15 my time. I got no audio. Huh. That is odd. Strange. No audio. Weird. The microphone is picking stuff up. Huh. Huh. That is different. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll see you guys later. Hello, hello, hello. Hello? Huh. Okay. Well. Peace.